Hey everybody, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. Today I want to talk about a piece of furniture I found on an online auction, and it is this display case. It just so happens to be a pretty good match for some Lego sets. The ones I've got in here right now are some of the modulars, but before I get into what I've got in the case, I want to show that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this case actually has a built-in light, just plugs into a regular outlet. I got this, like I said, at an auction, and it originally had a mirror in the back. So currently you can kind of see the backing material is just that particle board. When it got to the auction, the mirror was broken. So I have a feeling that maybe deterred some of the other bidders that would have put a higher price tag on the ability to pick this up. Personally, I don't really mind not having the mirror in there. I think an option that I want to explore is actually painting or finding a different background to put in as an insert. So I'll have to look into maybe the best way to go about that, because to get into the case, the openings are the sides only, so the front does not open at all. Thankfully, the modulars are small enough and you can take the floors off and that kind of thing to where I could actually get those in the case. But as far as putting a full-size backing photo or display in the back part of the case, the doors are not big enough. So I'll either have to make it in two parts and put them in one at a time, or I'll have to actually take off the back of the case and put it in like the mirror originally would have been inserted to the case. So as far as what I've got in here right now, I have 3.5 modulars, and at first I was really excited because the inside dimension is exactly 40 inches, and in my mind a base plate is 10 by 10. So I was going to try to fit 4 full-size modulars in here and have, you know, the floor space of the display case perfectly filled. Well, it turns out I went to put in the full Market Street modular on the left there, and I needed about another 1/8 of an inch, so like 0.125 inches shy of being able to fit in. And I measured it again and it was still 40 inches. And so all of a sudden I started to wonder, you know, all my life I've thought these Lego base plates have been exactly 10 by 10. A base plate's actually a little bit larger than 10 inches. And so by the time I had 4 full Lego base plates, you know, 32 by 32 studs, in the floor of the display case, it was just long enough to prevent the full 40 inches of the case from holding them all. So I needed just a tiny bit more. It's kind of frustrating, but I still think it looks good with 3.5 in there. Thankfully, we do have some options when it comes to half modulars. So for Market Street, it was just a matter of leaving off, you know, the actual alleyway side of that set. Alternatively, I could have left the full Market Street set and taken out one of the other townhouse. So I also have the option to split that townhouse and bookstore into 2. But I think I like both of those more than the other half of Market Street. So for now, I'm going to leave that full modular in place. And of course, the other 2 are the Greengrocer and the Cafe Corner that I was able to piece together over the last couple of years. Greengrocer, I still want to do that deep dive video about how I was able to part that out, some of the upgrades that I made along the way. I have done that video for Cafe Corner, and that's getting up there, a couple of years old now, but I still think it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it. So I wanted to highlight this case today. Like I mentioned at some point, I want to do something more with the background. I think it's decent right now, but I was doing some digging one day and I did find out that Lego had posted some wallpapers, and I think it'd be really interesting to explore kind of expanding those wallpapers, whether that would be printing them off at high resolution, or just kind of trying to take that as a starting point and paint my own version of the expanded modular background. So that video is another one that's been out on the channel a couple of years, and that's just looking at some of the different, they were actually, I think they were designed to be computer desktop backgrounds, but one of the ones that's in there is for the kind of the original run of the modulars, and I think is pretty interesting to take a look at that. Maybe use that as a starting point. Also looking at some of the other city box art that's out there, and especially on the back of some of these modular sets. The artwork that was put on there before the boxes changed over to the current, where it's more of the emphasis on just the modular, maybe with some more architectural drawings. Before they changed over to that style of box art, these modulars had much more immersive backgrounds and background art, and I think those are also pretty interesting to look at, and possibly would make a good starting point for filling in the back of this case. So thanks for watching today, guys. I've got some other ideas of what to put in this case going down the road as more of a static display piece. And I also like it because it's going to help keep the dust off of these modulars, which can be a pain if they are not in a case or enclosed in some way, as you probably know if you have some yourself. Alright, that's all I got. We'll see you next time on Brick System Brothers.